Hey everybody, welcome in. Give a little bow like Prince Philip, Prince Eric. I'm sure I'm still going to get a whole bunch of uh, heat from you all that know their names. um, but now it is time to have a little talk over him and his kit, and then we will go in and really jump into what is best for him. So that's what this is about. So let's go starting with his basic. Now his basic does an kind of okay amount of damage, especially for a tank, an okay amount of damage, with a 75% chance of continuous damage. And then when he's maxed at level 4, it'll be 100% chance. So that's get more chances always going to be good. Now, the first thing I saw when he was getting continuous damage and what I thought, I was just like, more different ways to build a continuous damage team. And it seems like a lot of the tanks recently are getting the continuous damage love, although Fred has definitely taken that cake. But I'm very interested in it. And then it's also got the built-in for raids, and even not for raids when other people start using Ursula, is that if the target is Ursula, she's going to get extra additional continuous damage. So doing more damage is always going to be good. So I'm going to look forward to that. Now, his next special, his first ability that you can use, this is the one, swing into action, that he will call his taunt. So it actually does a okay amount of damage yet again, for especially for a tank, but then also to bring into action his taunt. So it's like a damaging attack to taunt, and I kind of like that. And it looks pretty cool how he just swings and hi and that's always good. And then in raids, he's also going to get crit immunity for 2 turns, which is I'm sure going to be amazing. And at max, then he's also going to have the extra additional bonus on critical hits. All other oceanics gain speed meter, which is going to be pretty massive. Although we have seen a lot of intimidate, which may cancel that out in the actual raid itself. So we have to wait and see. Um, Maritime Melody. So this one is, I actually really like this, and I've been toying with this ability a lot. But so for what it does is everybody on the team gets defense up, crit immunity, which is going to get plus duration in raids. But I found that crit immunity hasn't been making your characters immune to crits. It's bugged at the moment. You can still take crits, which I have to go and report properly, but currently when you give it, you can still take a crit. And then if Eric has taunt, he can extend his taunt duration, and then if he doesn't, he can get 50% speed meter, which will then increase more when you level him up as well, which is pretty good. So if he doesn't have it, you go boom, force his turn to come around more, make him quicker to then get taunt anyway if he doesn't already. But if you wanted to get these off to protect your characters, which I think is quite important, and I quite like that about him, if they get it working properly. So then comes to his passive, and now this is a very interesting passive, and it's the more you level it up, the more speed it is going to get in its base speed. Now, the first time a teammate falls below 30% health, perform the following. So, if Eric doesn't have taunt, he gains 10% speed meter that goes up into the raids into 30, increase by 30%. Now, these speed increases here don't affect the 30%. The 30% stays the same, but the 5% and the 10% go to that initial 10%. So that is what it's referring to there. So that is one thing I have had clarified by some of my Disney Titans teammates who have invested into it. So if Eric has taunt, then the teammate gains undefeatable. So if he's got taunt and then they're still taking damage, it's just gonna give them undefeatable to make them not get wiped by AoEs or the likes. And then they get more speed meter, and then more speed in raids. And then if it is Ariel, she gets an additional undefeatable. So people were asking, does that mean she gets 2? Yes. If it is Ariel, it's going to be double the undefeatable. So if she is the lowest health, protect her. She's going to be protected, at least survive another couple of turns, hopefully enough to get a heal up. Now his passive, this is really amazing, and it's yet again, some of these tanks are getting similar-ish kits that are a little bit different, which is kind of nice that you can use similar characters in different ways, but you can also tailor it to how you want to play it. So for his passive, Max, where could they be? This one seems to be a whole lot more about characters with stealth. So on turn starts, he will use it, and then it's going to prioritize people with stealth, and then it's going to purge stealth and reduce turn meter. Now, if they didn't have stealth, then you can give vulnerable. So at the moment, there's not many characters running stealth, but that means it's kind of better for you because vulnerable is a nasty effect. And then it's going to be able to set up all your other characters to then lay out some massive damage. So that is very, very important. Um, Also, leveling this up is going to give a little bit more speed meter reduction, but definitely the vulnerable is the big part people are loving about this at the moment, and is a massive change. So those are all of his abilities. Now, I also do want to talk about his stats for a few. So if we go look into his stats here, he's got meh, average offense, not that great. His speed is decent, especially for a tank. Probably the new standard of speed that we are seeing is how it should be described. His defense is massive, and also his health is huge. So if we put that into perspective, if we actually go back here and we sort by health, boom, he is, just with a small health stone, my character with the most health out of all these other defensive characters. Now, that is massive. That is absolutely massive. Now, if I had a health stone on Gizmo would probably take that. And if Sully was leveled right up, he would probably take that as well. But that is massive. And then if you also look at defense-wise, these other characters all do have defense stones, barring Gantu and Mr. Gadget, Gizmo. But he still is sitting pretty high, even above a tier 6 Simba with a full stone too. So that is pretty solid defense, well above Hopper, well above a lot of the others, and probably maybe like a newish standard, but definitely with a defense stone. So if we're going to go into this, I want to talk about which stone is going to be better for him. So if we were looking at this, his defense will be 629. That would be putting him at the top of the list previously. We saw that mine was topping at around 600 with a full stone. Boom, he's automatically gone to the top. And then health, nearly 30k. Nearly 30k. That is massive. And I'm going to prioritize and go health for him. And the reason being is because in raids, I want to be able to have him at the most health as much as possible. But also, not only just because of raids, but this is also going to push him well up in my list. So, and this is going to make him like absolutely nuts, like by far the first, by far. But the reason being is because down here with the Tala spell, this heals their health on percentage of their health. So you can get a whole lot more back. Even if they got high, if they got nearly 30k health, you want to get a percentage, 25% of their health, which is massive. And I want to get as much of that as possible, and I want to be using this with it and to heal more, so he's going to survive more and all of that good stuff. So that is the plan for that, and same with other healings. Anything that's done on percentage base, that's going to be good for it. If it's a solid number of health, then that's not going to be so good, and you don't want a health stone. Then I'd probably rather go defense. But because of the Tala spell and he's an Oceanic, I'm leaning that way for him. So hopefully that has helped, and we will be moving forward and getting some showcases on him going forward. So right now, even with a stone put on, he's just jumped right up into the top of my pack. So there he is, and hello, kind sir. I have been working on a few teams that we're going to go into and do some showcasing in with him, so stay tuned for those showcases. But hopefully this has been helpful for you all, and we'll see you on the next one.